check to not leave it out in outdoors too long.
Well, because I went for a run the other day, and a mailbox, and not far from my house, they had left the mailbox open. It was a locked mailbox. It was a big one, and they put a note and said, "Somebody stole our mail, and here's the picture of the car off of our video cam." And then about a block later, I saw somebody else's mailbox that was jammed into. That's why I was curious if you guys were seeing some of this. So are they just after the money? Is that it?
No, not just, obviously their primary goal is to get your money, but they also want your personal information and any other information they can use to open up loans or credit cards, anything that they can use to commit financial fraud. And there's a treasure trove of information that they can get from your mail or from your email by clicking on a phishing email.
So how do you guys track down the scammers?
Well, I can't go into specific details. That's all trade craft. But we have great relationships with our local and state partners as well as international law enforcement. As you know, this is very sophisticated stuff. The complexity of the scams increases every data breaches, so they can really target us individually. I was speaking to one of my
making some big money. How much money do they make a year in total? Do you know?
That's a great question. It's a hard dollar figure to put on because you're talking about credit cards. We see that as potential loss. So when you lose let's say your credit card has a $5,000 limit, the fraudsters may not use all that available balance on your account, but
coming. Do I expect you to believe that? Now, for my example, working with all of you, how many of you listening even now? Not many. And when you do listen, hear me talk like this, you pull into a pussy. Who do you think he is? Well, who does the Holy Spirit tell you I am? What does God tell me I am? What?
A week later, banned Europe, and they called him racist, homophobic, everything else, called him all kind of names. Now they're finding out he do that, we could be in worse shape. Then they're mad, well, you do nothing in February. He says that's because we was trying to figure out what's going on. As soon as they figured it out, they did something. But they just hate anybody that's for America. Because I hate to say this, But I have to. It's God's time for America to begin to fall. It's God's time because God raised us up for number one purpose. He didn't raise us up so you could have freedom and have a great life. That's a sidebar. He raised us up so we could be those technology advanced country in the world, so we could have satellite TV and all kind of electronics. That's a sidebar. He raised us up for the protection of Israel. The wings of the eagle that protects her. As soon as God...
الله متعال میره برنامه تو قربانی میکنه. این کار درسته. الان اینو قبول میکنم. نه هنوز الان اینو قبول نمیکنم. کسی به خاطر الله متعال بره این کار حرام رو انجام بده. الان اینو قبول نمیکنه. الان هر میره کار درستی رو انجام میده. این خاطر الله میکنه. تمام گفتن شهادتین که کارهای درسته. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله و اشهد ان محمد رسول الله. این کلید هم وارد شده به اسلام.
Anuncio formaron parte de esta tendencia. Sin embargo, Dos cortesanas no es sino el fragmento de una pintura más amplia que en un momento dado fue seccionada. En 1963 los especialistas relacionaron la tabla con un fragmento de la pintura conservada en el Museo Jean-Paul Getty de Malibú, en Los Ángeles. Este fragmento, cuyas dimensiones son semejantes a las del cuadro del Museo Coel, representa un paisaje con un lago en el que unos hombres se dedicaban a la caza del pato desde sus barcas de fondo plano. Existe una...
أبدا وملكها لا يترك لشعب آخر وتسحق وتفني كل هذه الممالك وهي تثبت إلى الأبد لأنك على 45 لأنك رأيت أنه قد قطع حجر من جبل لا بيدين فسحق الحديد والنحاس والخزف والفضة والذهب يهوى العظيم قد عرفت
آوازی کیا در تطلیم بوره پار بکربو اندام کمیتی کوشین جودی آرگش دلیل آویان کچی و هدار رو باد لسر آلبوم آخرین چنستانند آلبوم دجی گوتن ام هوددن جوهر موزیکا کردی جوهر خدا موزیکا خدا
برزاکان پروژه هبو يعني دماغ گروه ده هندک اول که هم وقتی پروژه نقاش کربون پیشنهاد کربون و ده همان دمه دلی کلی میوان هبون سروی اساسی موجود عند السيستم بكم يعني قبل كده بيتشتت ده ام بابيزم جنوي 2017 وقتی فیلی مدرس به خلاط زیکت ده همان دمه دلی موجود ان هم بسیطات و همه محمد کمی تجربه و افتاد و بیاری همه شریف الخلفیه بکن
پروژه برقرار كلمة بو هرما بوطاني تواهي هرما تفسر فاتشين كردستاني
هاي اللبسين
es como para hacer por ejemplo, si tú quieres hacer una foto y está a oscuras y no hay luz...
Lo más importante es la luz para la fotografía.
Para hacer una fotografía necesitas luz. Para cantar necesitas aire. El canto es el dominio del aire. Por eso los italianos, cuando se plantearon cómo
Dizem que a mulher é sexo frágil, mas que mentira absurda. Eu que faço parte da rotina de uma delas, sei que a força está com ela. Veja como é forte que eu conheço.
ìyá ó jẹ́ mọ̀títà tí a bá ń ṣe léyìí eléyìí ṣe pàtàkì ó ṣe kókó ẹ má jẹ́ kí a mú ọkùn kúrò níbẹ̀.
من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون
One bunch of spring onion, pepper and salt to taste, 1 egg yolk, 1 cup of sour cream, and 2 bunches of fresh lovage. Boil the lamb parts in a pot with 6 liters of water and skim off any foam that rises to the top. Add the finely chopped vegetables and leave to boil over a low heat for approximately an hour. Add the rice and leave to boil for an additional quarter an hour. A very popular souring agent widely used in Romanian cuisine is fermented wheat bran. So in the end, add the liquid obtained by fermenting wheat bran and leave to boil for another 10 minutes. Turn off the heat and salt to taste. Mix well the egg yolk with the sour cream as you would a dressing and serve hot with freshly chopped lovage leaves. The so-called stufat, a delicate spring lamb stew, is very popular in the period right after Easter in Romania and all over the Balkans. You can make it with either leg of lamb or lamb ribs, about a kilo's worth. It doesn't take much to make the recipe. All you need on top of that is 5 tomatoes, about 15 sprigs of spring onion, and another...
Mejor que yo.
Claro. Vamos con otro hit. Vamos a este.
To his embarrassment and shame, he was soon to be humbled. To set the stage, we draw from John 20, verses 18 through 29. Mary Magdalene went to the Lord's disciples and told them she had seen Jesus on the 3rd day after his crucifixion. Jesus told her not to touch him because he had not yet gone to the Father. He said, "Tell my brothers I will ascend to my Father and your Father." Later that day, Jesus appeared where the disciples had assembled. They were...
Otro super hit de Wikileaks. Es María Callas. O mio bambino caro, no confundir con mio bambino caro, que son dos cosas distintas. Bambino es papá, es papaíto.
Sí.
¿Ok?
Es preciosa.
Vamos a otro super hit de Puccini. Siguiente.
necesito,
Cries echoed between Wuhan's high-rise flats. Some knocked down are shouting a message of encouragement. Other oil.
I'm Ana Maria Popescu. In the gallery of eccentric Romanian princes, eccentric both in terms of personality and of literary style, Mateo Caragiale has taken pride of place for the past decades at least. Mateo Caragiale was born on March the 25th, 1885, and died in January 1936. He and his father, the great classical playwright,
des renseignements dans un magasin, un serveur avec lui dans un magasin.
Got the tree cut up. Yeah, who did that? Neighbor. Oh, Roger. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. Offered to pay him, he wouldn't take the money. You know where. What'd you say? Whatever. we've had. The angel gave a shout, like the roar of a lion. Then the voices of the seven sons spoke. Just as John was about to write down what they said, a voice from heaven told him to seal up what the seven sons have said, and do not write it down. The entries of the seven sons' voices the first interlude between the sixth and seventh trumpets. Translates thunder means to roar. Thunder is often a mark of judgment. In the
no mercy. They're going to have bow and spear. No, not a bow and arrow. Their bow and spear today is laser guns and all kinds of sophisticated weaponry. And they're cruel. They have no mercy because they want.
تبریک میگو به صاحب النام و او را بشارت.
¿Cómo es cuando tú viajas en un tren y el tren de al lado se mueve? No sabes si eres tú el que te estás moviendo o es el tren de al lado. ¿Sí? Pues esto es lo que sucede.
4 notas, lo de Morricone.
Exacto. En 4 notas es re, mi, fa, sol. Aquí, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Re, mi, fa, sol. Re, mi, fa, sol. Re, mi, fa, sol.
Efectivamente, siempre las mismas notas.
Exactamente.
Qué bueno.
Sí, así que es esto que digo del tren, ¿verdad?
Vale.
A veces estáis
Estábamos en la primera parte.
Vale, vamos a la segunda parte. Vamos a la segunda parte.
Me da miedo no llegar.
No, que llegamos. Os prometo que llegamos. Vamos a la segunda parte. Termina esta primera parte y de golpe cambia aquí. Y se abre un nuevo mundo. ¿Por qué se abre un nuevo mundo? Porque... Vamos a hablar encima de esto.
Pero es cierto, hay un cambio muy evidente.
Paremos un momento, paremos totalmente el audio y vamos a volver a escucharlo. Estábamos en una tonalidad, estábamos en sol, y de golpe Puccini lo que hace es trasladarnos a otra tonalidad.